Welcome. It's Thursday. It's 2 o'clock. If you're sitting in your car, and there's thousands of you mommies and daddies sitting, waiting to pick your kids up at school. The show is called AskBrien, BRIEN.com, and it's a show about business, about answering some tough questions. Today we're going to talk about the best movies, the best books. At about 2:35, we're going to have maybe considered America's top business consultant, Aaron Young. And with me in the studio is Brian Johnson, the owner, the author of AskBrien.com, and we're going to be doing some giveaways. So if you're sitting in your car and you want to go to the app, do they have to go to the app to get the free movies? What do they do?
Well, first of all, let's tell a little bit about what the movie is. So I don't know if everybody's aware, but there's a new movie coming out. It's coming out today. It's called The Founder, and The Founder is about the McDonald's Corporation. So essentially, I don't know how many people are aware of this, but there's a gentleman by the name of Ray Kroc, and Ray Kroc was actually a milk salesman. He was selling milkshake machines, and one day he was just trying to sell as many milk machines as he could, and all of a sudden he gets an order in for 6 milkshake machines. And typically he would get no orders or one order here and there. So when he got 6 milkshakes, he knew something was up. Ray at the time was about 52 years old. So what does that mean? That means that it doesn't matter what your age, you can start a company at any age. And just as a side note, Colonel Sanders did not start KFC until he was 65. So it's never too young to start. I want everybody to be aware of that.
Let's try the bell. Our producer, maybe California's biggest Oakland Raider fan, Aaron. Let's try the bell, Aaron. Let's see what the bell sounds like. Got a bell. Where's the bell? Aaron, where's the bell? Bell. Need a little bell. Oh, there we go. Good. Try it. Yes. Good. So every time you hear the bell, what do you want our listeners to do?
Well, I'm going to make an announcement when we hear the bell next, but right now I did want to go over a little bit more facts about the movie, get a little bit of information out there.
How about introducing the lovely, the smart, the innovative, clever, genius?
She is the show, so obviously we have to ask.
Well, Lindsay McCoy, how are you?
I'm wonderful to be here. Thank you, Ron.
It is it's the week for women. Big women march in Washington, so yes. I'm glad you're here with us, and you're not marching. Or maybe you are marching. I don't know. Probably be marching in the studio. I love that bell. Let's hear the bell. Bingo. So why don't you give... Oh, baby. Why don't you give free gas away instead of movies? Who wants to go to the movies?
I didn't even announce
you're not giving the free popcorn away.
I didn't announce that I was giving anything away, so I don't know what you're talking about.
You told me you were getting free movie
that was
tickets.
personal before the movie, before we started.
Who's the star of this Ray Kroc movie?
It's Michael Keaton. And Michael Keaton's done quite a number of movies, but one of the main things I wanted to get back to our story was because it's a very, very valuable story for what we're doing here. Remember, Ask Brien is a place where people can go to ask a business question, get a business answer. That's BRIEN.com. And the reason why we decided to have a promotion, which we'll be getting to rather shortly here, is when you look at it, if you think about it, the movie itself is the American dream, and that is what many people that are calling in or writing questions on AskBrien.com, that's what they're doing. They're trying to start a business. They've got a business problem. They want to get that American dream. Some of them may have had it, but most of them haven't. This movie, that's what it's about. It's about showing somebody that had nothing, who was 52 years old. He mortgaged his house. He was basically going to lose everything he had after he decided to buy McDonald's. Everybody thought he was a fool. He mentioned one word, very key word in business, persistence. That is the key word he said that you must have to succeed.
You're listening to AskBrien.com on a fabulous radio station, our flagship station here in Southern California, KHTS AM 1220. I'm here with the 1220 AM here with the fabulous Lindsay McCoy, Brian Johnson. You want to do the bell again? Is that why are you pointing? Yeah.
Well, I'm ringing the bell for a reason.
You're giving something away.
I'm giving something away.
Go, baby, give it away.
Woohoo! All right.
I love that bell.
For anybody who goes on to the AskBrien, AskBrien.com site, every 10th person in the next 24 hours shall receive one ticket to the Founder movie. That's
it.
one free ticket.
You are cheap. One ticket? Who goes to the movie by themselves except you? People take 2 or 3 people to a movie. Give away 3 tickets.
I'm giving away 10 tickets.
Yeah, but one ticket. If somebody wants to give 2 tickets away if they register. Come on, don't be cheap.
They're gonna if they're the 20th and 10th person, they'll get it. If they ask 9 questions and they register once, they're going to guarantee to get a ticket.
You're listening to AskBrien.com, BRIEN, on the fabulous KHTS AM 1220. I'm your coach, Coach Ron Tunick. I'm a business coach. I like the movie. I mean, I like the concept of the movie. I think the movie may be popular because it's McDonald's. Do you ever eat at McDonald's? You're like a health nut. Do you ever eat at McDonald's?
Oh, I used to eat at McDonald's. How do you think I got the way I am?
No answer or no question. Can I just talk about my favorite author, Malcolm Gladwell? Have you ever read any of his books?
I'm not familiar with it.
His first book, Outliers, was outstanding. Then he wrote Tipping Point. Then he wrote Blink.
And we were discussing that earlier.
Yeah, yes. Why do you think I'm bringing it up? His last book,
his name.
David and Goliath, Underdogs and Misfits. And this goes back to the McDonald's movie that you want to give 1 ticket away to somebody that signs up. They go to AskBrien.com and sign up. Is that how it works?
You register for AskBrien.com. Every 10th person shall receive a ticket. However, you also are going to be counted for any questions you ask.
What about popcorn? Why don't you give away a thing of popcorn and candy and a drink? Now people would go sign up.
Well, because we don't know the cost of a popcorn or a drink because it differs by movie theater.
Oh, boy. All right. So, anyway, go to AskBrien.com and sign up, and you get 1 lonely little ticket.
I like how you have no problem giving away my money.
Yeah, no problem at all. So, the movie... I love, first of all, persistence is what changed my life. At like age 20, I started reading books from almost coaches, generals, leaders, business people like yourself, successful business people like yourself. And from reading books, I was able to have a life in business. I learned everything in books. And I just want to throw that out there. So Malcolm Gladwell, one of my favorite authors.
Well, books are definitely a way to learn information, and you have to, as we talked about earlier shows, you have to constantly educate yourself. And there's always going to be new books coming out that are going to be able to educate. However, you have to take what's read in that book and use it practically. So just because you can read a book, just because there's a book out there that teaches you something at the moment, that's just a point in time. However, you have to take what's in that book and apply it to life. And that's how you can succeed.
But it's just one author, and it's like I've written several books. My last book, The Thinking Room, if you go to, that's a cheap plug for my book, The Thinking Room on Amazon.
Never heard of it.
It's a great book. Sold thousands of them. But the point is, it's just my opinion. Now, I teach people how to think in my coaching practice, but read 5 books. I read 5, 6 books at a time. And typically in every book, there's 3 or 4 chapters that have really the meat of the whole concept that the author's trying to get through to you. So anyway, read. Let me ask you, Brian Johnson.
So when you're reading 5 or 6 books, how do you not get the characters mixed up from book A to book B?
Because at my IQ level, I can handle it. That's my answer to you, pal.
But it's still not as high as mine.
No, it's not. Nobody has an IQ like yours. That's why the show's called Ask Brien, BRIEN.com. On the fabulous KHTS AM 1220.
Maybe you should ask Lindsay McCoy a question.
I'm going to ask her a question right now. Here's the common question. So I was doing research this week. What do you think the most common question is, Lindsay? It's what kind of business should I start?
Yes, I would agree with that.
So you are a very successful real estate lady with Coldwell Banker. If you were going to start over, okay, what business do you think, forget that you're in real estate, forget that you're successful, forget that you list and sell houses of the famous, what business would you start if you were going to start over again?
Oh boy, if I can start over again, I have a ton of interests, so if I can do anything over again, I would start with the fashion business. I've always liked fashion, and I would have liked to have pursued that.
You still can. You're still a young lady.
Yeah,
take the money that you're making in real estate.
She's so young, I don't even know if she can go into the bar and get a drink.
So fashion, explain to us what would you do? You would tell me about. I don't know anything about fashion.
I've always liked clothes, and it was for me. I have a very athletic body, and it's very hard to find clothes that fit me right. I have a very small waist and bigger bottom, so.
I'm exactly the opposite.
And also I liked
family show, Brian.
I need a style that fits more suits my taste. So
you would design clothes for the athletic woman. I like that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And there's not a lot of clothes out there for the athletic.
Well, I'm learning
physique.
that. I'm learning that there are actually. There's a lot of these boutique stores on the internet now, but I shop at some of the bigger retailers like Bloomingdale's and Macy's and Barney's. Sometimes.
Now, shopping on the internet, it's amazing. I don't know how some retailers are going to make it, because my wife shops on the internet, our friends shop on the internet. Do women, when they buy clothes, do they shop on the internet, or do you have to go in and actually try on the clothes?
Well, this is what sparked my interest to get into the online business, because shopping online is lovely. I love to do it. It's convenient, but the problem is you don't know what you're going to get. You don't know if the size is going to fit you. You don't know if that material is going to come out the way that it looked online, and that's the biggest problem with shopping online. A lot of people, everybody that I know, they shop online. They love it. The pictures they're getting better with the technology, but it still has a lot of way for improvement.
And you can't try it online. All right,
No.
So the first question, most commonly asked, is what kind of business should I start? You would start a fashion business helping women with athletic physiques find clothing. Brian Johnson, you started AskBrien.com. That's the title of the show. You're giving away movie tickets to anybody that goes to Ask Brien and signs up. And we have a bell that rings. Why is the bell ringing?
Well, it's for the 10th person. It's not for every person that registers, but it will be every 10th person in the next 24 hours.
How does our listeners know if they're the 10th person? I mean, I don't get it.
We'll have an accounting auditing firm that will review that for us.
All right. What business, if you weren't starting AskBrien.com, what business would you start?
Business consulting.
Great. I thought, isn't that what AskBrien.com is, business consulting?
Not at all. It's a place where you can go and ask business questions and get business answers. Business consulting is a little bit more involved. It's usually one-on-one. It involves basically reviewing the entire aspects of a business, going through the business, finding out what problems they have, and trying to come up with a solution to optimize their business processes, to make them scale, to get them bigger than where they are. That's the way.
All right. I'm a business coach, so I'm not a life coach. Alex Urbina is maybe one of the best life coaches in Southern California. I just love this guy. I have lunch with him frequently, and he is down to earth. He asks such probing questions. He has saved marriages. He's saved lives. That's not my interest. My interest is helping you make more money in your business. My interest is in finding businesses that are somewhat successful. They get stuck. So what's the difference between what I do as a business coach, which really starts with helping the owner of the business and some of the senior management people think differently, have a different approach, take a different approach, try a different road to solving problems, because at the end of the day, the guys that make the most money, the brain surgeons, are the biggest problem solvers. People that make the most money, other than entertainment people, are
and
problem
athletes.
solvers.
And athletes.
Well, athletes solve problems because they entertain us, right? I mean, they make the big money because supposedly most of them are overpaid, but that's another story.
Well, I think the reason why they do so is this such a small amount. When you look at it, even in a sport like baseball or football, what are there? Maybe 1,000 people, and they're generally in a certain age group, and you're talking about the 1,000 best people. If you look at the worst athlete in any sport, and you compare him to some guy who was the captain of your football team, he may be 10 times better than the captain of your football team.
My wife's going to turn off the show if we start talking about sports. I'm Coach Ron Trinnigus, Brian Johnson, the fabulous Lindsay McCoy. The show is called Ask Brien, B-R-I-E-N. When the bell sounds, go to AskBrien.com, sign up right now. Go there, AskBrien.com, sign up. You're going to get free tickets. I'll make sure. Okay, if you actually sign up and after you sign up, can they put KHTS and then we know that they were listening to the show?
They can send an instant message.
Oh, great. So you're a business consultant. What's the difference between what you do and what I do?
Well, first, I didn't say I was a business consultant. You asked me what business I would start.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Well, first of all, business consulting. So, first of all, let's be clear here. As far as what you said in terms of when you are actually meeting the businesses, you're meeting the businesses after they've had a little level of success and they kind of hit the hump. Okay. What we're doing at AskBrien.com is we're helping businesses at any stage in the ballgame. So we're helping out startups, which our guest today, Arthur
the
Young,
unshackled owner.
Yes, he's going to teach you a lot about starting up. So we're talking about anything from starting up and business to growing the business, okay, to dealing with the problem that you're talking about. So you're only dealing with one segment. What I'm saying is we handle the entire thing. You may even be at a point where you want to sell your business, and you may be at that stage and you need to know what to do. So we're going along the entire gamut. It's kind of the life cycle of the business. And the thing with a business is it never dies. A corporation can survive hundreds of thousands of years.
What I like about your site when we first met was that I think, especially
you don't
men,
like it anymore?
No, I still like it. AskBrien.com, BRIEN. No, what I like is that men, especially men, we want to fix things, and we're scared to death to be intimate and ask another male a serious, intimate question about it. We'll be right back, but that's so I can go to you and ask any intimate question. About business.
Yes.
Okay. We'll be right back on the show. AskBrien.com. KHTS, fabulous station, 1220 a.m. Download the app. It's the best radio app in the country. I'm not kidding when I say that. We'll be right back.